Labrynth versus Floowandereeze. We have Labrynth on the left, Floowandereeze on the right. Let's see how this goes. Labrynth player on the left is going to go first. Normal summon here. Send a card from hand to graveyard. Send a normal trap. And then they can special summon a level 4 or lower fiend from their deck. On summon, they're adding from deck to hand. And the Floowandereeze player activates Droll. Setting a card, revealing and special summoning. Checking out the extra deck, considering a link play there it looked like. Playing a small Unchained Engine, pop a card to special summon itself. And then linking into Unchained Soul of Rage. Explaining the Shivara effect. The Floo player here is coaching a little bit, letting them know that since they are playing Floowandereeze, they are not going to special summon at all, so the Unchained Soul of Rage is pretty much going to be sitting there dead. So they decide to take it back and go for an SP instead. If you guys are watching this video, thanks for bearing with us. This is just a really casual duel. You know, we're just trying to get better at our decks here, coaching each other a lot. Just kind of learning our stuff here. Alright, Floo player starts by setting a card, normal summoning Eaglin. Oh, and the Lab player has an Imperm, negating the Eaglin. Then they are chaining to set a trap with a different name from deck. They set Full Force Virus. Very strong trap card. Don't see that card getting a lot of play, but it'll take you by surprise. Floo player is activating Thrust. And they are ashing the Thrust. During standby, they're activating Featherstorm. The Lab player is chaining Full Force Virus. Tributing a Dark Monster with 2,000 or more defense. Checking the opponent's hand and all monsters they control. And then the monsters for the next 3 turns. Destroying everything with 1,500 or less defense. Looks like they're considering chaining the lady for Chainlink 3. I think they noticed a slight misplay. Reviewing the Featherstorm. So the Floo player had to send every monster they had to the graveyard. One was banished though. The eagle in there. Going to battle phase and attacking for 1600. Setting a card in main 2 and passing. They drew the Featherstorm. They're going to set it and pass. Oh, during opponent's end phase, the lab player is activating, I think that's the big welcome. Special summoning from deck. Then bouncing a card. Bouncing the SP back. Yeah, the Full Force Virus card is very powerful, especially when you already have a little bit of advantage over your opponent going. It's going to really mess up their future turns and plays. Alright, looks like the effect is activating. Drawing a card, and then they can set a trap or special summon a fiend. And then they're drawing for turn. Looks like they set a card. Attacking for 1600. Alright, Floo player draws. Lab player thinking. Choosing not to do anything. Alright, Floo player passes. And then in their draw phase, they're activating the Welcome Labrynth. Looks like they're considering what card to special summon. They summon the Lovely. Going to their main phase, and they're getting to set a trap. Setting Full Force Virus once again. Attacking for 1600 and 2900. Main 2 setting a card, and Floo player just can't wait to go. They draw, and it's nothing they can really use. Alright, Labrynth takes the win there. Game 2. Floowandereeze player going. They're activating the Advent, banishing one and then searching one. Then gain 500 life points. Ooh, that card gets ashed. There is the Robina. So here is the start of what Floo lives to do, really. Normal summon Robina is basically full combo here. So they're adding from deck to hand, then immediately normal summoning. So I've actually never played Floowandereeze or Labrynth myself, so go ahead and drop any comments down below of any mistakes that I may have made in my commenting here. As usual, please be respectful to myself and the duelists, and let's keep the Yu-Gi-Oh community positive. Appreciate you guys for watching. Alright, they add the Eaglin, and normal summon, and then get to search again, and then normal summon. They're attributing, and then chaining 2-3 to go to hand, and then adding. So they're adding a Spiller Trap, and they choose the Dreaming Town. It's a card that helps them share turns and make it our turn, as Floo players like to call it. So it lets them normal summon a level 4 or lower wing beast on the opponent's turn. And then they can just kind of keep immediately summoning. It's hard to get a chance to negate anything once they get going here. Alright, Lab player is drawing. Activating their field card, Labrynth. Looks like they're reading the text of that card for the opponent. Alright, and there it goes. The Floo player is chaining to the activation, normal summoning Robina. Alright, Lab player is chaining, discard Arius. Set a card, it could be activated this turn, I believe. And then the Robina is adding from deck to hand, and the Eaglin went back to hand. They search the, I think that's the Stry? However you say it. Or maybe it's the Tokan one. Wasn't quite sure. Okay, there we go. And then they are banishing from grave. And then immediately after summoning the Eaglin. Adding from deck to hand. I think the Eaglin has to be a level 7 or higher. The Lab player is using Big Welcome, and it gets ashed, unfortunately. And once Floo gets going like this, it's really hard to stop them. So once again, they are immediately normal summoning to the Apex Avian, which is an Omni Negate. And this is all on the Labrynth player's turn. So there's that kind of shared turn, our turn type of action going on. Labrynth player sets a card and passes. Floo player draws. In standby, Terrors of the Overroot, something like that. Another kind of spicy tech card, and it just gets negated with the Omni Negate bounce. Alright, here comes the Robina play again, normal summon, add to hand, and then the Eaglin went back to hand from banished. So they're normal summoning Eaglin immediately after the Robina. And adding to hand. Looks like they're adding an M-Pen. And then they can, right now, normal summon. Contributing to 2 M-Pens on the field. And then another immediate normal summon. And the M-Pen, adding the field spell. So there's the normal summon. Banishing card from their own graveyard, and then putting it into hand. Contributing for the Apex Avian, going to battle phase, and attacking for a little bit over 8,000. Floo player takes the win there. It is now 1-1. This is game number 3. We're going to see who takes the dub here. Alright, Lab player starting off by activating their field card. Pitching a card, setting a trap, and it can be activated this turn. They're going to go ahead and activate it. Summoning from deck here. Summoning the Lovely. Looks Looks like the Flute player was taking a short break there, double checking everything that happened and confirming that there was no negations or anything. Once again, this is just real casual. We're playing at home here. This is no tournament. This is just a couple of homies trying to get better with their decks, learn their combos. So they special summon the lady, and then they're setting a trap card. Flute player just double checking the effects of the cards there. And then looks like they'd forgot to set the welcome, so they go ahead and do that too. Good move. Okay, Flute players really kind of taking their time here, thinking about what they're going to do for their turn. Normal summon Rabina. They drew the card that they really needed. Adding from deck to hand, then immediately normal summoning. They must have already had an Eagle in, because usually that's what they do. So unsummon the Stry, banishes. Yep, and there's the Eaglin, normal summoning. Thinking about their zones. New chain, the Eaglin is adding from deck to hand. Lab player is chaining the big welcome. Excuse me, I think that was the welcome. Now the big welcome. Okay, chain resolves, no more responses. Specialing from deck with the big welcome. Looks like they're setting a trap. Full force virus. And bouncing a card back. Oh, and then taking advantage of their field card. I think it gets to destroy a card on field. Could be wrong. Okay, so they destroy the Eaglin, but it just gets banished. Okay, I believe the chain is resolved here. Or the Eaglin was the last thing that needed to resolve. That was the chain link 1. Adding the Ryza from deck to hand and then immediately normal summoning. Chain link 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Impressive. Alright, Ariana draws. And then special summons a Fiend. There we go, so the lady's back. Lovely is, I believe, ripping a card from hand. The lab player here, I think, is double checking Ryza's effect. Randomly selecting a card from hand, and it was the Featherstorm. Good card to rip, really. Alright. Those monsters go to hand, and now they are... What are they doing? Banishing and returning cards to the top of the deck. Oh, and then one more back to hand, so no banish there. Okay, looks like they put the set trap back in hand. Battle phase. attacking and destroying a monster. Setting 2 cards in main phase 2 and passing. Lab player draws. Big surprise, it was their field card. Flute player activates their trap card, which is going to let them normal summon on the opponent's turn and once again share the turn. And they are chaining their lady to set a trap from deck. Looks like they were thinking about the dogmatic punishment. Considering their options. And they decide to go with it. Okay, the flute player immediately, or excuse me, the trap resolves and they normal summon the Rabina and add from deck to hand. Searching the toucan. I believe the flute player is looking at the lab's graveyard to consider what they should potentially banish. Okay, they summon the Stry and banish the Welcome Labrynth. Summon the Eaglin. Add from deck to hand, they're adding the M-Pen, and normal summoning it. This is still on the Labrynth player's turn. And then adding from deck to hand on summon. They are chaining the Welcome Labrynth to, or excuse me, the big Welcome Labrynth to bounce a card back to hand. So flute player is adding the Unexplored Winds. Okay, now Lovely is activating to rip a card from hand. So they had another Dreaming Town. It's crazy that that card is not once per turn. Also has an effect to banish it from graveyard. It's a crazy card. Then M-Pen is adding one from deck to hand on summon. I think they added the field card, the Magnificent Map. Okay, lab players go in battle phase. They're double checking the M-Pen effect. The M-Pen can half the attack. So they attack the Ryza. Main 2, set 2 cards. And ending turn here. Flute player draws. Activating in draw phase, Full Force Virus. The lab monsters are unable to activate their effects because of the M-Pen, negating the special summoned attack position monsters. So, flute player shows their hand. Anything with 1500 or less defense goes bye-bye. Flute player is asking a question about bringing their banished monsters back to hand, seeing if they're going to have to get rid of those. And I don't think they do, because it's not getting them in their hand by drawing. So there was the tribute for the full force virus. They tributed the lady. And then the M-Pen had to go as well. Blue player almost forgot that. Alright, field card. Special summoning. And Chain Link 1 on summon. Chain Link 2 to rip a card. Here's the add from deck to hand. Adding Lady. Activating Lady, special summoning, and there's the Floo's field card coming out. Activating the Big Welcome. I've probably said these wrong in this video, so feel free to correct me, but the Welcome and the Big Welcome, hard for me to tell them apart. They both special summon and do something else. So it looks like they're special summoning the Arius. Bouncing one. And then the Flute player ends their turn. Lab player draws. Activating the Big Welcome. Bouncing a card back to hand. Just really ensuring the win here. Pretty much over at this game state. Special summoning. A Lady. Considering their next play here. Going into the extra deck for a Chaos Angel. Very surprising. It's not very often you see lab players go into the extra deck like that. Checking their graveyard. Going to battle phase and attacking. I believe the Floo player is at 1400 life points. And main 2 setting a card and setting another card. Floo player drawing. It draws a droll. Has to go to grave because of the full force virus. They activate their field card, but it's not doing much. Lab player goes straight to battle phase, and there is the win. If you guys stuck around this long, thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and don't forget about the giveaway. We'll see you next time.